5 seconds. Comments. Number 1. Annual General Meeting of Sundaram and Company Limited will be held at 3 p.m. on Monday, the 22nd July 2002. Venue of the meeting, Conference Hall, New Woodlands Hotel, Dr. Radhakrishnan Road, Chennai. The business to be transacted: adoption of profit and loss account of the previous year along with the auditor's report, declaration of dividend, appointment of new auditors and fixing their remuneration, election of directors in the place of those retiring. Retiring directors are eligible for re-election. Any other subject for which prior notice has been given. Voting by proxy allowed. Share transfers will be stopped for a week prior to date of annual general meeting. Draft notice to shareholders from the secretary of the company. Number 2. Draft a tender notice in the proper form using the following points. Tenders are called for by Commissioner, Salem Corporation for purchase of 10 lorries for the Conservancy Department. Tender forms available in Corporation Office at ₹100 payable in cash. Firm price should be quoted by tenderer. Earnest money deposit of ₹1 lakh should be paid by demand draft in the name of Commissioner. Last date for receipt of tenders 30th July till 3 p.m. Tenders will be opened at 4 p.m. on the same day in the presence of tenderers. Successful tenders should supply the lorries within 30 days of the order. Payment will be made against supply. Commissioner reserves right to accept or reject any tender without assigning reasons. Number 3. You were travelling in government transport bus from Tambaram to Chennai Broadway. The bus was going at a fairly high speed. When the bus was near the airport, a cyclist was also going in the same direction. He wanted to go to the opposite side. So he suddenly swerved to his right. The government transport bus driver noticed this and tried to stop the bus. But the vehicle swerved to the right and dashed against the cyclist, who was seriously injured. There was a traffic jam. Police arrived on the scene and cleared the traffic. They also made arrangements for the removal of the injured cyclist to the nearby hospital. The police registered a case against the driver of the bus for negligence and rash driving. Write an eyewitness account. Number 4. Bharatidasan Engineering College, Velur invites application from qualified and experienced candidates for recruitment as faculty members in the grade of professors and assistant professors in its various departments. Minimum qualification is PhD. Salary will be in accordance with the scales of All India Council for Technical Education. Interested persons may send their biodata on plain paper indicating qualification, experience, etc. within 15 days of the date of the advertisement to the college principal. Also should enclose passport size photo and copies of certificates with the application in duplicate. Draft an advertisement for publication in newspaper. 5 seconds. Comments. An honorable member of parliament said, "As the House is well aware, this debate on the President's address is on the usual lines, just like a normal budget discussion. I have been closely following the debate, and we, on the government side, welcome such an opportunity when the honorable members criticize the government or express their views on the various activities of the government. In the course of the discussion, a large number of matters were raised by the members. I would like to suggest certain things for your consideration and for the consideration of the House. We naturally want to give an opportunity to the House to decide whether it approves of the major policies of the government or not. If we have a debate on a large number of minor issues, then the major issues will be neglected. Some members of this House complained that sufficient number of women have not been returned to the House. I would like to express my agreement with that complaint. My own opinion is that the women have not been given a fair deal in this country. Regarding the appointment of women in the various departments of government, I cannot think of a single instance when the candidate has not proved her suitability to the particular position. On the other hand, there are several positions where appointment of men is not justified. On the question of cost of living, we have to make sincere attempts to reduce the prices of basic necessities, especially food. We should not allow the antisocial people to profit at the cost of common public. It is a dangerous thing to play with the food crisis. These are matters for careful consideration by the government and this House. I would like to refer to industrial development of the country as a whole. More money has been set apart for starting as many industrial units as possible in all parts of the country. This is done with a view to reducing the cost of production and at the same time providing employment for people. I would appeal to the people to come forward and start industries in their areas, either in the private sector or by forming cooperative societies. We are aware that the number of schools and colleges is increasing every year. It means that the strength of boys and girls attending the educational institutions is also on the increase. I am happy to note that the state governments are doing their best to open larger number of educational institutions. We should remember that the financial resources of the state are limited and it is the responsibility of the central government to help the states so that they may be in a position to meet the heavy commitment in the field of education. As regards foreign policy of the government, it is clear that there has been very little criticism in the debate. I would like to say that our foreign policy is a very satisfactory one, judged by the status of the nation in international affairs for a variety of reasons. India's reputation is high in the international arena. We have adopted a policy which has been described as one of neutrality or non-alignment. It is true that a country's policy in foreign affairs emerges from its own traditions and objectives and more particularly from its recent past. We seek the cooperation of others and we cooperate with them. I hope I have dealt with some major problems. Now I would like to conclude my speech thanking the Honorable Speaker for giving me this opportunity.